Heyo.
Hey.
What up, girl?
What up? Nothing. What up, girl and boy?
Yeah, I have a baby strapped to my chest right now.
I love it.
So you might hear some little squawks, some little snorts, some grunts. I don't know.
Oh, some toots,
Some toots. Oh, man.
some toots,
really,
some coos.
Some real rips.
He's a tooter, just like his mama. No, you're not a tooter. You're a burper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a burper, yeah. Yeah, that's the exit point for me.
What's your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Erin.
Oh, hi, I'm Nicole.
Welcome to Dude That's Fucked Up, y'all. Sorry, that was a little long lead in there.
No, whatever. Who cares? I mean, people picked it.
Dude, I'm still getting back into the groove of everything.
Yeah, this was, even I am still, because I feel like, I was like, oh yeah, I have to do research this week. Luckily, there was a movie I could watch, and that made my life a billion times easier.
So great. Oh, man, I just read a lot of weird articles on Forge.
No, that's good. That's fun, too.
And went to a couple really shitty websites,
Yeah, I went to Reddit today, and I was like, someone used the word methinks when they were like, and I was like, fuck this.
But seriously?
Yeah,
Or,
they were like,
oh, God.
methinks this is like, the conclusion is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, fuck off. I'm done with this.
Get fucked. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, why would I expect anything more from Reddit? Because, I mean, some corners of it are cool, but.
Well, do we have any business?
Business. We have a website that you could visit. Excuse me. DTFUpodcast.com. From there, you can click a link to go leave us a review on iTunes. 5 stars. Say something nice.
Or, don't. If
or
you're
don't.
like, fuck these bitches. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't say that. That'd be unkind.
Also, I feel like, because we've been really pushing for you guys to leave us reviews, and you are, and thank you very, very much. They're so
God.
sweet.
I just read the latest ones from like July and August.
Yeah.
Man, there's some really good ones. Very like insightful and helpful.
Yeah.
And just like, because if somebody's searching for, I've said this before, if somebody's searching for it, I always read reviews of
Same.
stuff. And it's really nice to like see like very honest and like, people really get into the meat of it and like really saying really nice stuff. Like I like can't even get over it. It's just so nice.
It is very nice, and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And I was gonna say, if you do leave a review, don't use any explicit language in your review because they won't post it.
Oh yeah.
Just a heads up.
Fucking lame.
Fucking shitty.
Fucking shitty. Yeah. So thanks everybody for being chill and cool. About that. And let's see. I guess just like website stuff, and you're gonna come visit me.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's taken so long, but finally, I feel like there's an excuse because the baby.
Yeah, I mean, you could have come visit like anytime, but like whatever.
True.
For any reason.
Yeah, but it's like hard. I don't know. It's like, oh.
No, you have to. There should be like an occasion.
Yeah, an occasion, and it's like, oh, do we want to wait? I'm always like, oh, we need to evaluate all the information and make a decision, which is so daunting.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, like after you came out here in January, I was like, oh, like I'll go visit Berto and like. Or I'll go visit Erin in a few months, like before the summer. But then you were pregnant, so then it was like, well, we couldn't like go out really if we wanted. I mean, we could, but I was like, by that point, I'll just want to wait to go when the baby's born. And so then the baby Jack is here, so then I was like, okay, I'll go. I can go now. Yeah, that's good. And we found a weekend that worked. And I'm like taking all these fucking classes and shit. So it's like I found a weekend. I have nothing going on. I'm like, that was my weekend.
It's great. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I just
or
was
in life in general?
No, I don't think so. I got 2 moles removed at the dermatologist.
Oh.
They like looked weird. Again, none of them are the ones that I would like to be removed or the ones that have like a weird hair growing out of it. So, and without fail, I'm always like, what about this one? And I like point to it and they're like, no, that one's fine. And I'm like, of course
I feel like that's
is.
A beautiful mole. Yeah. That mole is thriving.
Yeah. I mean, throbbing. It has its own pulse.
Oh, God
it's
damn it.
so huge. Oh, God. Jesus. It's so annoying. So, but that...
It has teeth.
I think this one has a personality.
Yeah.
This one's giving me a dirty look.
You should start naming them, like, the ones that, like, they never remove because you know they're going to stick around for a while, so... Like, make it like a fun nano pet situation or something. I don't know.
I should have it tattooed with, like, a face. You know, like put a little and like hair, like draw on like a wig or something, so it looks like really cute.
Love it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sorry that you didn't get your ugly moles removed, but you know, sometimes life isn't fair.
Yeah. No, I got like the normal. Well, they weren't normal looking apparently, but I got some like kind of regular ones removed, and it leaves a crater, and one's right in the middle of my back. I can't like dress it or like you know. And so Pete's been having to do that, and I think he hates it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's rough. God bless.
Can you take this Band-Aid off, and then I need you to use the washcloth to, like, wipe it, and then I need you to put Neosporin on it, and then put a Band-Aid, and he's like, okay.
I want to recommend a product for him. It's, like, a little spackle thing that somebody gave us to put, like... Oh, no. To put, like, diaper rash cream on a butt. So you don't have to use your fingers.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't even know what it's called, but I'll show it to you, and I'll send you the link so he could just, like, slap it on without having to touch your mole crater.
Yeah. My mole crater.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
What an angel, though.
Yeah. What about you? What is your fucked up thing this week?
Just that, breastfeeding's really hard.
Yeah.
My nipples hurt real bad, but like, you know, there's like, it's just like a lot of, it's hard. Like it's like, it seems so natural and like you see like pictures of people doing it or whatever. And it just seems like, oh, the baby just like sucks on your titty and that's all. It's just like, it's really fucking hard, man. It's not something that just falls into place naturally, right. I guess.
At some point,
so, it's work.
It'll get easier, right? At some point,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's like think about it as, because I had to mentally like reframe it because I was like, okay, I knew it was going to be hard, but then I was like, okay, why is this hard? There's nothing wrong with either of like me or the baby, you know, like he doesn't have like tongue tie or you know any kind of like allergy or anything like that. Like a lot of people who have a lot of trouble breastfeeding and can't breastfeed, there's like so many issues that you could have, but I don't have any of those issues. So it's just hard in general. And so when I was like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, why is this hard? You have to like realize like you've never done this before. He's never done this before. It is like instinctual and innate in a lot of ways, but like it's really fucking hard. So, and it hurts like a bitch. And when you're like up at 3 a.m, it's just like, shit, man.
Yeah, you're like tired, and if it's not working,
it's
you're
just
frustrated.
Like frustrating. Oh my god.
Yeah. And it's something I feel like a lot of women don't talk about because I know anecdotally from friends and family members and stuff that they're like, oh yeah, it's like hard and really like it upset me and it made me feel like I wasn't good enough or what, you know, and it's like, but no, everyone's having, you know, a struggle. So
there's no way that there's somebody that just walks into a room with their new baby and just like automatically can fucking have no issues. I don't know, maybe there is, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's just, and because we don't talk about it, that's why. Yeah. So if you have managed expectations, you're going to be in a lot better place, I think. So.
Yeah. I think emotionally and mentally. And we're just like, it's so hard because I feel like women try so hard to be perfect at things. And then when that's not happening, it's like, ugh, you know, you just.
And then you see all these like things like culturally that are like, this is supposed to be natural and easy. And it's not. So, but there's lots of resources out there if anybody else is like struggling.
Yeah.
Like there's tons and tons of information, and just know like everybody, like what's helped me is not feeling like it's me or whatever. It's like everybody goes through this like rough time of trying to figure this shit out. And that's all, like literally all it is like you are just in the wilderness trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And that's why it's important not to shame people if they use formula or whatever.
That's right.
Because we don't know their situation and the choices they've made or the things they can control. And so we just keep our opinions to ourselves. Thank you very much.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah. That is so correct. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's my only shit.
Oh, okay.
That's just my world right now. So.
Maybe you should have DJ rub Neosporin on your nips and then with the
spatula. My God. I have like 5 different types of nipple cream. Man, let me tell you. There's so many good products out there too to like help ease your nipple like distress.
Like, do they make like a foot bath but for boobs that you just like lean into and there's just like jets and like you could put some Epsom salt in there?
Oh God, I don't want salt anywhere near my titties.
God, yeah. Good point. That sounds awful.
Yeah, no, but we're getting through it. It's like good. I feel like I'm coming through it. Yeah, so
you are.
Anyway,
yeah. All right.
So what are we talking about today?
Oh God, it is. At first, I was like, this is really sad and awful. And then I was like, oh, it's interesting and kind of a treat. And then I was like, oh, this is sad and awful.
Yeah.
It was rad. Yeah, it was a roller coaster.
It's so, we're naturally skeptical people.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this is like a return to form for the podcast of just not silly to some people. Maybe they take this pretty seriously. I don't know. But it's like we're getting back into some Bigfoot territory, sort of.
Yeah, it's like it's like a cousin of Bigfoot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. It's Sasquatchian, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's we got a self-published author.
Yeah.
We've got Bigfoot references. We got documentary that you watched from the self-published author person.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And also this is a topic that a lot of people like when we have people join the Facebook group, we ask them 3 questions just so that we know they're not like a bot or like, a like a sock account or whatever.
Yeah. Or like a regular asshole.
Or just an asshole. That one of the questions is, what is a topic you'd like Erin and Nicole to cover on a future episode?
Yeah.
And, one that comes up a lot when people join is missing 411.
Dun, dun, dun! Woo, woo! Today's topic. Woo, woo!
Pew, pew, pew! This is a weird topic. It's weird.
Yeah. I'd never heard of this, by the way. And when people were suggesting it, I was like, well, I wasn't even intrigued because I was like, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I had heard of it before, but it's like another one of, it's like a Bigfoot adjacent thing where you're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Well, because there's this guy connects it, right?
Yeah. So what missing 411 is it's not like a phone number you call. Do you remember 411?
Yeah, but why did we call it? For what kind of information?
It was for like somebody's phone number.
Oh, yeah. It was like the operator.
Yeah, it was like the operator. Like after the operator was like obsolete.
Yeah.
We still needed an option for like figuring out where somebody lived or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like all pre-internet. I don't know if people remember this. Maybe some of our younger listeners have no fucking clue what we're talking about, but
I remember.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think 411 harkens to the idea of getting information, maybe.
Oh, what's the 411?
What's the 411? Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a police code or something, too.
It might be. It's like, it's something. It's some sort of code. Anyway, so Missing 411 is, it's this term coined by this guy named David Paulides. Am I saying his name right?
Paulides, yeah.
Yeah, it's Greek. And it's in reference to unsolved cases of people who've gone missing in national parks and other like wilderness areas, like rural places, whatever that you could go hiking or camping in. This sounds real spooky.
Yeah.
Real creepy. Mm-hmm. And it is because like you think of somebody missing and it's unsolved. Like what the fuck happened? Like there's just like leaves the mind open to possibilities.
Maybe. I mean, also it's like, a person went missing in like a fucking huge national park that spans 3 states.
Yeah, weird. Yeah.
They can't find them and it's like rugged terrain and like super like dense trees and shit. I don't know. Skeptic.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is it's interesting because the guy he's going for that vibe. He's going for the spooky vibe.
Yeah.
He implies there's some sort of supernatural explanation for all the disappearances.
Yeah.
And let's just say we don't think that's quite right. But you're entitled to believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. Like if there's like some interdimensional being snatching up babies, I that'd be weird and, kind of fun, but I don't know.
Yeah. Or like Sasquatch is just like palming babies at like out of like people's campsites. That's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah. And I mean, not fun, but like that's like
spooky
no. And like would be a fun movie.
Yeah. Oh
like
my God. It'd be great. Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of going for that vibe of that ooky spooky kind of thing. And he has some evidence. He's written several books on the topic, and he made this documentary, which you watched, which I sort of watched, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
And Erin wrote evidence in quotes.
Yeah. Oh, big quotes.
Big quotes. It's like there's like giant arrows pointing to the quotes.
I need to like reformat it so that they're just like in 18-point font and everything inside of it's like 12-point font or something. I don't know. I should start doing that in our notes.
That's fun. Just making our notes like visually like interesting. You guys can't see this, but like this visual joke's good.
It's good for us. So yeah, the thing that I found very interesting about this is, so he has done his due diligence and done a lot of research. He's talked to, park rangers, and he's tried very hard to get like as good of data as he can to kind of make some conclusions. Now, whether those conclusions are of any value, I don't know, but he's done some good legwork. I'll give him that.
Also, what's the thesis that this conclusion is answering? It's like
right, I know. It's like bitch, nobody asked that.
Yeah. If you start from a dumb place.
Did Sasquatch do this? Bitch, no, nobody's asking that. Yeah, so, but he did all this research, and he has turned up a genuinely creepy and strange fact that was very disturbing to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure to all of you, is that the National Park Service does not keep track of people who've gone missing in their parks.
That's weird.
That's really weird. So I think that it's just a bureaucratic thing, just because of the, I don't know if it's like the frequency, the database issues that they have, but we'll get into that right now. So I think it's fucked up, but Paulides makes it seem like the Park Service is like, I don't know, nefarious or hiding something, or like, because it's like a government agency. That's dumb.
Yeah.
And not true. I think the Park Service is wonderful in a lot of ways. Obviously, like, you should visit your national parks. You should, be happy that you pay taxes for this reason, that we have these amazing places that we can go and access in our country. But they are just the epitome of inefficiency and just a total garbage lump of a government institution when it comes to keeping track of shit like this. It's crazy that they can track all the animals that are in the park. That's like the priority, which is great, but they don't keep track of visitors at all.
That's weird. I guess it's
because you can't, like, I guess you have to, like, I guess that'd be an infringement of, like, people's basic freedoms if you were, like, keeping tabs on everybody that came to the national park. I don't know.
Well, and I don't think it's physically possible. Like, you can enter the parks through a myriad of ways. So it's
exactly.
Like, whatever. Also, I think the animals, they can keep track of animals and stuff because, like, there are economists and things that, like, keep track of that. But a lot of it is, they're making estimates and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So,
so there's never going to be an accurate,
it's just
like,
too
number.
Yeah, it's too big and there's too much land to cover and it's underfunded. And that's really the reason why they don't have, like, in this documentary, which is called Missing 411, there was like
it's on Hulu, right?
It's on Hulu. Yeah, you can watch it on Hulu. They said that, they were like, if you asked the National Park System to, like, create this database of missing persons since, the records were created or, like, since the first person was reported, it would cost like $1.2 million. And they're not going to spend that.
I'm sorry, that is nothing. That's nothing.
But is it nothing in, like, the parks? I mean, they're, like, getting defunded and shit. It's like,
I mean, yeah. Well, let's just talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
Because so the National Institute of Justice, it's the research arm of the Department of Justice, calls unidentified remains and missing persons the nation's silent mass disaster.
Yikes.
So, and that's, like, all over the country, and it has nothing to do with sorry.
That's okay.
has nothing to do with, like,
Jack's pissed, you guys. Jack is pissed.
Oh, dude, he's, like, coming out of his carrier. Hold on one second. So anyway, there's, on any given day, there are between 80,000 and 90,000 people actively listed with law enforcement as missing. Dang. That's insane. But this is, like, we're talking cities, everything, in the entire country.
Wait. On any given day, that many people are reported. That's the active number of missing persons cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sure. So, like I said, it's, like, across the entire country. The majority of those, of course, disappear in populated areas. Yeah. The Department of Justice keeps a database. It's called the National Missing and Unidentified Person System. Yeah. But reporting a missing person is voluntary. So it's not like, it's not like it's just automatically going into this database whenever somebody goes missing. Like, somebody could go missing and nobody could report it and nobody do anything about it. Like, who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And also in all but 10 states, and it's voluntary in all but 10 states, and law enforcement and coroner participation is voluntary as well. So a lot of the missing are also missing from the date. So, like, somebody goes missing, it's voluntary in all but 10 states, I should say. So 10 states, it is, like, you have to report a missing person.
And, like, a coroner.
But who's to say? Like, who's going to say, oh, that person's, like, unless somebody else knows. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it would be up to, like, your closest friends or family to be like, hey, this person's missing. We've started hanging up flyers. We want to put them in this database.
Right.
That is kind of weird. It's weird that the police wouldn't do it because they get the reports when, like.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. So after September 11th, the Department of the Interior tried to build its own database to track law enforcement actions across lands managed by the National Park Service.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bureau of Land Management, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So the Forest Service is under the Department of Agriculture. That's why it's not listed in there. So the result was this, they made a database, and it was called the Incident Management Analysis and Reporting System.
Oh.
But it cost $50 million to do, as opposed to that 1.2 figure.
Oh, no.
$50 million to do this across the board for all these agencies. And it's terrible. It's awful. Last year, or in the past couple of years, only 14% of the several hundred reportable incidents were even entered into it. It's allegedly super buggy and just like poorly made, and it has a tendency to create duplicate entries, and it's just like really tedious.
What the?
The user experience is terrible. Like it's tedious to use and search.
That's so dumb. This is so dumb to me. This is like an example of like how horribly the government works. Because like, why wouldn't you create programs that ask like up and coming programmers or like college kids, hey, let's all crowdsource like the best way to do this. Whoever wins gets some money, not 50 million, but like, dude, $100,000 or a government job or something and a pension, and then you find the person that can actually do this well.
And like when this was created, it was like back when they didn't have like these like easy to like create templates and shit. Like you could fucking make a website out of nothing like in 2 minutes now. It used to take days and multiple programmers and designers to like build a website that looked really fucking cool. Now you can just like hire, like you can just go to Squarespace, we did for our website, and I made our
not sponsored,
but maybe one day.
Yeah.
But it's like now technology is so much easier to use. Like this kind of shit is not, you don't have to start from scratch in a lot of ways. Like programming, and there's so many more people out there who do it. So I just don't get it.
I know.
And this is just what happens when you just don't invest in technology and don't make an effort to fix shit or keep it updated in government, because you don't want to spend the money. It's stupid. And now we're in this position where there's human lives are just wiped off the board, and we have no idea where the fuck to even begin with figuring out where they are or what happened to them. The system's so flawed that the Fish and Wildlife Department has said that they don't want to use it. They're like, no thanks. We don't want to have anything to do with this. Bye-bye. They're just like...
They're like, we'll just keep using our yellow legal pads.
Exactly.
That seems to work fine.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so therefore we just really have no idea exactly how many people have gone missing in national parks. Wow. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Like, learning about that, to me, is the most fucked up part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But,
it's weird, because, like...
Sorry, little bud. Oh, my God.
He's making a break for it. Do you need to readjust him?
Maybe. I fed him a lot, so.
Oh, good. Nice. Oh, way to go. Look how quick you're learning.
I mean,
you're like,
that's all you gotta do.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, yeah.
Wow,
It's fucked up.
It's so
stupid.
fucked up. It's so stupid.
But the most widely held estimate, or what most people think, is that it's roughly 1,600 people that have gone missing in national parks since, I guess, national parks were created. Which that number is probably way bigger than that. But that's just the estimate.
That's like what they can estimate from the systems that do exist and like the voluntary reports, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Because also, like, if you want to go missing and you don't want anyone to know, like, you could go into a park.
Oh, yeah.
And
you could just
off.
you could just hike in. You can, I think when you think of going into a national park, you think of like going to where you check in at like the ranger station to get your little like permit to like go camping or whatever the fuck.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Like, even where we grew up, like, there were so many places you could go out to the Pinnacles, you could go out to Deep Creek. You didn't have to check in with anyone. You just started going into nature.
Yeah, the Pacific Crest Trail runs through our mountains, and like I was always like confused by the Pacific Crest Trail because I was like, why can't you just like hop on and do it? But like, you're supposed to like get a permit because it's dangerous if you do it alone.
Yeah.
People do it alone all the time. So you're supposed to be like registered, and you're supposed to, like, there's like a lottery, like you have to be able to hike it. So it's like a whole thing. But it's because you should check in and be like, I am going to be hiking the Pacific Crest Trail from these dates to these dates or whatever, or like whatever your lottery, and you have an entry point that you're allowed to go in at.
Yeah. And you check in along the way. That's how they keep track of you.
Yeah, so that's like a fairly good system, and you want that because if you're like doing it by yourself, which I'm talking about like
Reese
the Cheryl Strayed, and then I had a good friend who just did it recently on his own.
No way,
and he listened to our podcast like
really
along the way. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and he did it by himself, and you meet people along the way, but that shit I think people don't understand what it's like to be alone in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Like wilderness. Like there's nothing around. Like you might be on a quote unquote trail, but like, dude, but you're out there.
Yeah, you're super far from anyone if you needed help with anything.
No, yeah.
And there's no cell phone service and shit. Like,
no.
But that is cool. Part of me, okay, I'm not outdoorsy at all. I think we know this, but like I want to do that so bad just because I feel like you just like learn so much about yourself.
Oh yeah. That's why people do it.
Yeah, I just think it would be really interesting and like such a nice experience, but also I don't ever want to do it probably.
It's really hard. You don't have to do the whole thing. You can just do like a portion of it.
Yeah. I want to do it up in the like Pacific Northwest cuz it's so beautiful. Like towards the end of it, like as it goes into Canada, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, very cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. It's crazy. There's just like no real system to like figure this out. If you do go missing in the wilderness, like real wilderness, not like a well-known national park or something. Like if you go missing in like Yosemite, for example, the park has a dedicated like search and rescue team that's like really good at what they do. They know all the crazy backwoods like thing. They know where all the pitfalls are, where all the things like crazy skin melting little geyser hot springs are. Like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they could probably find you pretty if you go not super missing, but just regular missing.
Yeah.
They could probably find you. But they have resources is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Or if you go missing in like a larger county that has, a larger police force.
Yeah, like if you went missing in like the San Bernardino National Forest or something, they would send people to come find you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if you go missing in a very small county, they're just sending the local sheriffs with their like 2 90-year-old deputies to like work on your case.
And like
they don't have the resources to come look for your ass.
Yeah, and like the people that like didn't have to work that day, that are volunteers that like are like tromping through everything.
They also run like the general store, Yeah, it's very scary to think of that. So like the tourist centric places have better resources and more people like on the case, but you go out somewhere in like Idaho or something, you're in like some backwoods area where you're in a county where the population's 60 people, you're kind of fucked. Don't do that.
Yeah. Oh no.
And just for reference, in the United States, there's roughly 640 million acres of federal lands, including national parks, national forests, and Bureau of Land Management property. So that's fucking massive. Our country is huge, and the amount of land that we have dedicated to national parks and all that is insane. So it's just daunting. And the amount of things that people do in the woods when they're by themselves, or not even by themselves, but just out in the wilderness and get themselves into trouble are myriad. Like there's so many things that can happen to you while you're in the wilderness. it's hard to even explain how many things could go wrong.
Oh my God. What's that movie with James Franco, 128 Hours or something?
Oh, yeah, where he, like, fucking falls and gets his arm stuck and he has to chop his arm off.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, nobody would have found him.
Yeah.
He would have been in that crevasse for years.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Nobody would have found his body, nothing. So,
no, but that's the kind of shit that happens.
Yep. So, I don't know. I grew up going camping and doing all these, like, things in the wilderness, and that shit is scary. You're not, but not alone. No. I mean, and in, like, easy camping situations. Mm-hmm. If you go backwoods camping or backwoods hiking, it's a totally different situation. And then, but not even that, like, a lot of these people that go missing, they don't go far off a trail. They don't go far. It just, so many things can happen. I don't know what else to say except that Mother Nature does not fuck around.
Yeah.
And you don't need a goddamn Bigfoot to fuck your life up. Like, you
I like luxury hotels. I like a minibar. I like people around. I like emergency services that I could contact if I needed to, and that would come get me in an ambulance. I like a shower. I like a clean asshole. I like, I like a warm meal that's not made out of a packet of dried something. Those are the things I like. I stick to those things.
Fair enough.
And you know what? There's reason to, because I don't want to get lost and Sasquatched out in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, there's just so many things that could go wrong. And so something that this guy cites, this Paulides guy talks about, he makes a lot of connections with a lot of this data that he has researched.
Yeah.
And he has drawn some dubious connections called clusters and pattern, that he calls clusters and patterns. Well, he calls them clusters. They're patterns, whatever. He likes to talk about how a lot of things that all these disappearances have in common are how, for example, people vanish near water. Yeah, like people fucking fall into water and drown all the time. Water-related accidents are a common cause of death in the outdoors. Like, drowning remains the number one cause of death in national parks over the last decade. Like, that is a very easy thing to deduce.
Yeah.
You fall into a crik, you get washed away, you get pinned under a rock. Nobody's gonna find your fucking body.
What's a crik?
A creek.
Oh, you butthole. Okay, because I was watching that documentary and this guy kept saying crik, and I was like, this guy's an idiot. It's creek. And then you just said it, and I'm like, oh, is it a real thing? And I've never heard of this.
It's just a dumb colloquial way to say creek.
I was fishing in the creek.
In the creek. He also says, Paulides also says, another commonality is children with, quote, disabilities are overrepresented among the missing, which I just don't know, like, why that, like, it just is, I don't know. It's it's like a little bit of an ableist kind of fucking thing to bring up. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know.
I mean, in the documentary, there was like that was like said in the movie, in the film, but like the only one that they really talked about was there was 2 instances of maybe the kids
a little boy that had a hearing disability.
Yeah, the hearing, and he wore a hearing aid, which is like, okay, fair. Maybe he didn't hear, someone calling him. I don't know. And then, excuse me, but that kid was older anyway, and that's a weird thing. He was like at a church camp, and who knows what weird thing happened there. And then the other one was like a kid was, quote unquote, maybe on the spectrum. It's like, that's not conclusive evidence to say, like,
it's just like not a good data point to like even include in any kind of research. It's dumb, and it's pretty offensive, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. Yeah. He also cites the time of day people go missing. Usually it's in the late afternoon. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're out there hiking and the sun goes down and you can't find your way back to your campsite, all bets are off. You're you're in deep shit. Like, a lot of people go missing in midday because by the time maybe somebody notices, it's like, oh, I haven't seen them since midday and now it's nighttime. I don't know. Fuck. Or they truly do just like wander off and it's like 5 p.m. and then maybe they're turned around and by the time people notice they're gone, it's like, oh shit, they're missing. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then of course, like a person's not going to just sit and stay where they are. They're probably going to try to figure out how to get back to where they went off the trail or whatever. And most people just get really turned around. And especially if the sun's going down, you can't figure out what time of day it is. You can't, I don't know.
Also, like, midday is as broad as night.
Yeah,
like,
right? I know.
It's like midday. It's like, well, what time was it? I don't know, like midday. So was it like more like 11 a.m. or like 3 p.m.? Yes.
Oh, no, he says late afternoon.
Oh. Okay, well, that's more specific, I guess.
But still, yeah. Anyway. Another thing is storms inexplicably tend to hit after someone's gone missing. I mean, when you're out camping or in the wilderness, storms happen. I don't know, like...
What? This is infuriating. What? None of this is like... he's trying to drum up some, like, conspiracy theory, like, fantastical bullshit.
Like, storms happen, and it makes it harder for dogs and stuff to track. Like, trackers track if, like, it rains, it washes away, like, any kind of, like, tracks or any kind of footprints, any kind of evidence, maybe that somebody wandered through an area. I don't know. It's just, like, it's dumb. Even if it's not, like, a rainstorm, if it's really hot and arid, it could also make it really hard for dogs to track because it, like, might be blowing and very dusty and, like, windy. So that makes it hard for dogs to track, too. So I don't know. It's just, like, when you put gone without a trace, like, dogs can't track the person. Like, that's why.
Yeah.
Weather plays a big factor in a lot of things.
Yeah. And there's weather in nature.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
Being out in the elements is crazy, guys.
Yeah. What?
And then this pattern, this cluster is the dumbest one of them all. From his book, I believe, it says, quote, "People disappear and are found in the middle of berry bushes. They go missing while picking berries, and some are found while eating berries. The connection between some disappearances and berries cannot be denied." I don't even know what to say.
He's a real Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Wow. What a Sherlock Holmes. I mean, okay. I guess if you go wandering off picking berries, that's one thing. And then you realize, like, oh, shit, I don't know where anybody is. I got turned around. I don't know where the fuck I am.
Oh, my God.
Maybe you'll stay close to the berry patch. I don't know. So that you don't go hungry. I don't fucking know. And then that's where people, or you go wandering off for another reason. You're not picking fucking berries. And then you come across some berries as you're out wandering in the fucking wilderness. And you're like, oh, thank God, berries. I better eat some. But then you die. I don't know.
It's the Chuck Berry theory. Chuck Berry's out there. He's playing his tunes and his guitar. And then you see him and then you disappear. And then Smuckers is behind this, and they're like, it's the jam theory. What a dum-dum.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like the Illuminati, man.
Oh, my God.
Like, yeah, people don't stay put. They're trying to figure out where they are. And then, like, again, like I said, and then if they happen to stumble across some berries, they're going to eat them. Maybe they're poisonous. Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they're found near berries because they're trying to get some sustenance because they've been wandering around in the woods for hours, days, weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't have access to their fucking beef jerky they left back at their campsite. I don't know.
Also, they're found eating berries. Like, were those poisonous? Because then they just, like, accidentally killed themselves.
Yeah, that's like what happened to the guy what's his name?
Candless or whatever.
Yeah. He thought he could survive in the wilderness, and he was like, you know, he had some experience, and he like read all the books and knew how to identify things, but he still ate poison berries in accident. He starved to death actually, I think.
Yeah.
But
I think he was starving to death and then ate some poisonous berries or something.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a very sad story.
It is sad.
Anyway, yeah. So all this gathered info is great, and I like that he brought attention to how fucked up the system is for the missing persons that, for the Park Service. But I don't know. He really loses me when he starts to wander down the path of this supernatural shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did, like you were saying earlier, he's published books on Bigfoot. Like, that was what his initial books were about.
That was his bread and butter at first.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That whole thing, like, colors the tone of, like, how he approaches this whole thing. He's like, but he's intentionally vague about what he believes is the cause of all the missing people. And it's because it lends an air of mystery and weirdness. And he infuses, like, his kind of reporting on all this with, like, a ghost story vibe.
Yeah.
When he's trying to draw connections between all the cases.
I just saw the picture of him that you put on the last page of the notes, and I just laughed so hard.
He looks like, I don't even know. I don't know what he looks like. He has, like, a really strong mustache, though. It's pretty great.
It's so weird how, like, people, like, authors and stuff get headshots done for their books, or, just get, like, photos done for their books, and they're, like, they like, want to come across as a certain way. Yeah. So, like, romance authors, like, a lot of the women will be, like, their hair's kind of, like,
undone.
Flowy.
Yeah.
And their makeup's very, like, soft, and they have, like, a soft pink lip. And then he's, like, suit, tie, thick as fuck, mustache and eyebrows.
It's like a Magnum PI situation.
Yeah. He looks like a police officer, kind of.
Yeah, and he claims he has, like, a law enforcement. Ooh, did you hear that too?
Yeah. Oh, that was loud. I felt it.
I know. He claims he has, like, a law enforcement background for all this, but who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either.
Well,
and he does not have a theory about what's causing all the disappearances. So,
yeah.
But the field of suspects is narrowing.
The field of suspects is narrowing. Well, okay, this is what was interesting about that Missing 411, like, documentary. Okay, so I feel like we've talked a lot about, like, like, kind of like adults situations, like, well, don't go into the wilderness and camp on your own. But, like, a lot of the documentary focused on kids, which obviously don't make the choice to go into the forest.
They're like camping with their families or whatever. Yeah.
And so the documentary, like, focused the narrative mostly around this. He was basically a toddler. He was almost 3 years old, and his name was Dior Coons Jr., and he went missing in 2015 and is yet to be found. And that was, like, the driving narrative of this documentary. And they introduced other stories as well. But it didn't really have, like, I guess it had a little bit of the, like, and we don't know what's, and then, like, mysteriously the kid went missing, and it is weird. But the only things that are weird are, like, in all of these, it's like, why wasn't an adult with the kid? Right. Like, in all of these instances, and I'm, like, not blaming the parents or anyone.
No, yeah.
But it's just, like, yeah, that's, like, what happens when you're in the middle of nowhere. There's a steep cliff down to, like, a creek that's, like, pretty quick moving or whatever. Or there's, like, mountain lions around that might be hungry that are, like, watching you and your family. And if the child gets far enough and no one's watching, they'll just get picked off by wildlife.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and they talk about that. Like, they like check the, like, dens of, like, eagles, because, like, an eagle could potentially pick up a 30-pound kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, they're the known mountain lion, like, dens and stuff. Yeah. It's like do you know all the mountain lion dens?
No.
Really? There's no addresses for mountain lions, okay? What the fuck are you talking about? They're like, we went to the last known location of this mountain lion. Maybe you're tracking it. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, but still, I don't know.
It's like, yeah, they don't have addresses. Like, you can't call 411 and be like, yes, I'm looking for the last known address of Mr. Mountain Lion.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's dumb. And also, like, some of the experts that came on were like, oh, well, if there was people around, because, like, this kid, Dior, went missing. He was only, like, not being watched for, like, 10 to 15 minutes, which is still kind of a long time in the middle of nowhere. Like, he could get not super far, but I mean far enough that like you wouldn't see him. But then like everybody started making noise and like looking for him, and like, you know, if there was a mountain lion around that maybe took him or something, they'll just take him away.
Yeah,
like
right.
And then they might bury him for a while, one of the experts said, because like there's people around.
Right, because they're freaked out and they want to eat their food or something. Yeah.
So they might bury him for a while and then come back and eat him later. That's awful to say, but. And the other situations, yeah, it's like a kid went missing near a lake. That's kind of obvious. And it's like, but we combed the lake and we had divers. And it's like, yeah, but you're not going to see everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I watched like the beginning of it, and then I was just like, I can't watch this. It's too sad. Like, it's too, like, that's the thing that was the most fucked up to me. It's like, all right, this family lost their kid, like, and it's, I don't know. I don't think he's like intentionally trying to be like exploitative about it, but that it was like the entire narrative to like, it, you know, kind of elicit some, you know, emotion from the audience of like, look at this poor baby that went missing. I don't know. It kind of sensationalizes it, and I wouldn't appreciate it if that was like my family and my kid. And I'm sure like this family gave all the permission in the world, and maybe they believe something weird happened, and that's fair too. But like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just bad circumstances. Like they were there with the grandpa who was on like an oxygen machine, and he was like kind of maybe supposed to be watching him at the time, but it was like they just like kind of assumed he was gonna watch the kid when they like went, and so that's hard. And then I guess the other guy they were with is like maybe a child predator or like he's like a sex offender, so then that was weird. But then it's like, are people just reading into the things that like they want to read in? And that's the thing about all these, because you don't know what happened, so people want to sensationalize it. And like there was another story of a kid who I forget, I think his name was Jared maybe, but he went missing, and it's like, you know, he was running ahead on the trail, and then they just kept thinking they'll catch up to him, and they never did. And then it's like, so then they're like, oh, you know, what happened? Like, is it something crazy? And it's like, no, I think they all think he just got picked off by an animal, and they found his clothes, and they found like the top of his skull and like a tooth, years later. And like, it's just, he, you know, like, I don't know. It's just so weird, because they'd be like, oh, and then we found these like rocks, and then years later we found the remains of this kid that went missing, and it's like, and it's like we searched this spot like at least 3 times. It's like, well, animals will bring remains back to a place to eat them. Like, that sounds super fucked up to say, but like, I don't know. They only search for like 7 or 8 days usually, so the animal could wait that long. Also, potentially, you know, you could have wandered off. Like I said, people don't stay put. When they're lost.
True, especially like they could little have kids. Circled around. Yeah, like they could wander around for like maybe, I don't know, if you're a little kid, you might only last a day or two out in the wilderness. But you're wandering around and you're getting lost, and like I said, all bets are off for what the fuck can happen to you. Like, and then another thing he likes to cite is how they find clothing like in places like that are far away from the remains of the body, or wherever they found
X, Y, and Z. People do that when they get hypothermia.
Because they feel hot.
Yeah, they feel hot. It's like a weird phenomenon. And that happens all the time. And people like take their boots off, their jackets off, and it's totally counter to what's happening to their body, but it's like that's what happens.
Yeah, we talked about in the Oregon Trail episode.
Yeah. Did we?
Or wait, Oregon Trail. Or was it the Donner Party maybe?
Donner Party, yeah.
Okay, I was just going to bring this up because, a lot of the they'll find the toddler's clothes, but not the toddler. And so people are like, the parents and like relatives are like, well, he would never take his clothes off. Well, there was a search and lady rescue towards the end of this documentary who was being interviewed, and they were like,
sorry, you just said search and lady rescue. Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. There's a search and rescue lady. Search and lady rescue? What is that? That seems really chauvinist. Like,
yeah.
It's like a hello, my lady. Can I rescue you
this
evening?
Yeah.
That's good. She was like done this for years, like 40 years or something, and she was like, I was once looking for a toddler, and it had been 2 days, and it was really sad, and it was in this dense forest, and like a storm was rolling in. Oh, a storm. And it was like super foggy, and like they're just looking around and like doing their thing, and the dogs are kind of going wild, and finally her dog like indicated something, and it was just like freaking out, and all of a sudden, like through the mist, they see a naked toddler walking towards them. Oh shit. So they found her, but she was naked. So go figure. Like it can maybe
kids take their fucking clothes off all the time.
They love being naked.
Kids love being naked.
Yeah. So
I just saw a really funny tweet. Somebody was talking about how they wouldn't let their kid go in the pool or something, so the little kid was like, I hate you guys, and like ran away, and like they were trying to chase after him, and he just started taking all of his clothes off, and it was like a really funny photo progression of just like the kid being like super pissed, and his face was like really mad, and then the like last picture was like a naked toddler like walking away down the sidewalk. It was really funny. I don't know.
Bye, kiss my naked ass, mama.
Kids are fucking savages. They don't give a shit. Like and of course they love taking their clothes off.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know.
It's sad. I think it is. Yeah, the most fucked up thing about this is that there's like missing people that aren't being accounted for, or like, And also the fucked up thing is just like people can just go missing, and adults don't know to stay put. You're supposed to stay put if you get lost. Because the more you wander, the more you could wander away from where you were and away from where the people will be searching for you. Mm-hmm. And if you're with a baby child in the wilderness, fucking keep a leash on that thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's like I don't know. This wasn't like maybe
this didn't make me feel like, oh my God, there's something in the woods.
No.
Although there could be like a serial killer or something. Yeah. That shit happens.
Dude,
that happens.
That's what I was thinking. This topic made me think of two things. The first thing it made me think of was Someone Knows Something, Canadian, the CBC podcast. The first season of that podcast is very good, and it's about a boy that disappears.
Yeah.
On a camping trip with his family, and. Spoiler alert, they never solve it, but he probably drowned. And even though they comb the lake, like there's feet of
sediment.
Yeah, it's like unsettled sediment on the bottom of lakes that if you touch, it looks like it's solid, but if you touch it, it like puffs up in your face. Like it's not.
Right.
So it could be that. Anyway, and then the other thing it reminded me of, I've been getting back into My Favorite Murder lately, and they did an episode not too long ago on the disappearance of the child that like spawned the dingo took my baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so that also was like, yeah, this shit can happen. Like,
so many things can happen. There's so many factors. Like, and that's why it's just like, I appreciate the diligence of this guy, but he's barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Also, like, if you're going to come
It's just
out,
unimaginative also.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, if you're going to come out with something like this and you're going to build a case for something, you know, potentially paranormal or whatever, like, have a fucking hot take and tell us what you think it is. Because that was what was missing for me. It was like, so what is your opinion? Yeah, like, what is your opinion of what happened? Because you don't come out and say it explicitly in your documentary, and probably not in your books, because it would have been in the documentary. Like, is it UFOs? Is it Sasquatch? Is it fucking chupacabras? Is it, like...
Yeah.
Is it a serial killer? Yeah, we don't know, and that's really annoying to me, because it just felt like a bunch of time was spent for no, like, hot take.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a long con, or maybe it's another version of the Aristocrats joke where he's just like, Sasquatch, you know? The Aristocrats, like it's
right, like the like you're supposed to find like the interesting part is in the story and the buildup of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like the reveal is just something really dumb, and you're just like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's
God.
the telling of this. And I mean, and he's writing books and he's making documentaries and making money from it. So
yeah, it was the worst documentary I've ever seen. So,
it was well produced.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and it was.
I thought it was going to be garbagey, but it was pretty good.
And I liked that he worked in clips from his own interviews.
Uh-huh. Oh, and he's on Coast to Coast. Yeah,
it was really funny.
That's how you know.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Hopefully we like covered this. I don't think we're going to have covered this from a perspective that people wanted us to.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, we can't force it. We just don't buy into a lot of that. So that's going to be difficult maybe for people. But I'm very interested to know what people think. You know, especially everyone that requested it in the group. Like, what did you think this was about? And what did you think was, like, driving the disappearance of all these people? Sure.
And, I mean, we're like I said, we're skeptical.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Not sorry.
We're not. Yeah. If you're looking for non-skeptical, this is not the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk a lot of shit, basically.
I mean.
But yeah, I don't hate this guy, though. I think that he's doing a lot of interesting stuff and barking up the wrong tree, but has brought attention to the fact that there's just a terrible system in place or no system in place, actually, for people who have gone missing in our wilderness of these United States.
You know what? They don't call it wilderness for nothing. You know,
wilderness.
It's wild.
You might fall into a crik and die.
Oh. I just want to know what his hot take is, I guess. Maybe I'll find him on Twitter and ask him, like, so what do you think is going on?
Yeah. Or maybe it's all of the above. Maybe that's his, it's Sasquatch, aliens, I don't know.
Maybe an alien came down and wore a Sasquatch like an egg suit.
Maybe the aliens are Sasquatch.
Oh, hot take.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fun. I mean, cool. I will continue to go camping. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't. I won't. Follow us on social medias.
Yeah.
At DTFU Podcast on all the platforms. We're
everywhere.
I feel like we're trying to be a little bit more interactive on Instagram and Twitter lately.
Oh, I've been really shitty at Instagram lately. I will get back on that.
Oh, well, no, but you posted that, like, quiz and stuff.
Yeah. Which nobody took up the offer. I don't think they really wanted to look very hard at those weird animal dicks.
You know what?
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Nobody does.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think that's it until next week.
Yeah. Be excellent to each other.
And yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Jack.
Bye.
Bye.